Pepper Joe. What are we going to talk about today?
Today we're going to talk about the Habanero pepper, one of the world's most recognizable and famous peppers. How hot is it? Habanero averages 200,000 Scoville heat units to 300,000. But then you have the Red Savina, which was the hottest pepper in the world up until about a decade and a half ago. And the Red Savina comes in between 350,000 Scoville heat units and 550,000. Now, the Habanero pepper has a long, colorful history. It's been in existence for 85 centuries, 8,500 years. And what a lot of folks don't know, it originated in Cuba. That's what a lot of us believe. And of course, it's Mexico, the Yucatan Peninsula, that's made the habanero the most famous. They harvest tons and tons and tons of habanero peppers. All right, a couple other little simple facts. How tall does it grow? The average habanero, the shorter one's 3 feet. The average is more like 4 or 5 feet. But I've grown habaneros that towered over me at 7.5 feet. So if you get a big start indoors and you fertilize it properly and the weather cooperates with you, you could get huge habanero plants that average 5 and 6 feet tall. All right, how hot is it? I mentioned the average Scoville heat units, but a lot of you may not be familiar with how that works. Your least hot peppers are typically, the recognizable ones are cayenne peppers, habanero peppers. Then somewhere in the middle you have the habaneros. And then for those of you that really want it hot, you have the super hots. And the super hots have only been around for a couple decades. That's why you get some pod variation, is typical in the Carolina Reaper or the Moruga or the Butch Tea, Ghost Pepper. They haven't been in existence as long. The Carolina Reaper is only 9 generations old. It's an H9, so you're going to have a little pod variance. You grow habanero, you're going to get the exact typical habanero pod. Now, speaking of pods, here's a habanero that we're working on here at Pepper Joe's. It's going to be a new variety. Nice peach orangish color. We just harvested these a couple days ago. And once this is grown out to an F8, 8 generations, which is either 8 years, or if you get a 2-season in greenhouses or Florida type of environment, it could be 4 years. More to come on that if we're satisfied with the end result. Now, some colorful facts on the habaneros. We offer 11 varieties at Pepper Joe's. Probably one of the more colorful, cool, neat selections on the internet. And you have everything from the Red Savina, which I mentioned, to my own personal Jamaican hot pepper. I brought the original pod back from Jamaica almost 30 years ago. It was about as big as a quarter. Little Jamaican lady, she wanted 25 cents for 5 pods. I gave her a couple dollars. She thought I gave her gold. And we brought it back. It was gnarled and not that good looking. We engineered it by keeping the best specimens year after year after year, grew them out. Now, my Jamaican is about the size of a golf ball, and it has a smoother texture, similar to this one that we're working on. Smoother texture, and it's a much better looking pepper, and it really is one of our customers' favorites. Okay, the rest of our selection. Here's my fire in a box. And the fire in the box, we offer 11 really cool habanero varieties. It includes the Red Savina, the Fatale, chocolate habanero. Zoom in on this, Penny. The pumpkin habanero, the Scotch bonnet. I have a habanero blend, Tasmanian habanero, white habanero, my Jamaican that I mentioned earlier, the golden habanero, and the spicy mustard habanero. This collection we offer for $36.99. It's a 20% reduction from buying them individually, and you get all my habanero varieties in one selection. Now, I also on the website have some other information about growing habaneros. There's a place for growing super hots. And speaking of super hots, here's our pride and joy, the Carolina Reaper. You see its characteristic little tail, you see the bumpy texture, you see the multi-lobes, I think generally about 6 or 8. lobes on the Carolina Reaper. And that's a Pepper Joe exclusive, Pucker Butt exclusive, which is Ed Curry's company, and he created the Carolina Reaper. And we have a whole lot of new exciting peppers coming out that I'm hoping to be a part of the rollouts, and proud to be part of the rollouts, just like the Carolina Reaper. Carolina Reaper, hottest in the world, 1,474,000 Scoville heat unit average. And by the way, average is important because if you grow it in your backyard, our average testing range was 1,300,000 to 1,500,000, 1,600,000. Very tight statistical testing range. What that means, plain and simple, that's the pepper you're going to grow in your backyard. That's the heat level you can expect. That's the heat level you'll get. There's been other peppers like the Ghost Pepper that had a very broad heat range, and I'm guessing, if I remember right, from maybe 600,000 to 1,100,000, averaging 950 if I'm correct, 950,000 Scoville heat units. When you have that broad of a range, you could get to 500,000-600,000 in your backyard, and it wouldn't be that hot. It would be more like a habanero. Okay, so I hope this video on habaneros was a little informative for you as far as the heat level and the size they grow to and the different varieties. I do have more information about growing hot peppers and growing habaneros. Just go to pepperjoe.com, and there's a whole bunch of tips and information on growing peppers. I thank you for joining us today. If you notice in the background, it was raining slightly, and now the sun's shining. It'll be a beautiful day here in Myrtle Beach. Take a look at our other videos as well. Thank you.